Hey, Street Talking Other Stuff, Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti. Thanks for being here again on this morning. It's great to see you. Hey, you know, Monday, well, we'll get through it. But, you know, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. I'm really looking forward to Sunday night because I'm looking forward to, hopefully, the Seahawks playing football. Let's just leave it at that, okay? But, hey, you know, I was in church the other day, a little while ago, and a friend of mine got baptized, which was really cool. But I think what happened to him, he wasn't really expecting because, you know, the minister dunked him under water and said, John, your name will now be Matthew. John, you're no longer a sinner. John, your new life will be that, you know, you end up giving up all drinking and gambling. And John, now you have a new name. So I went home with John for lunch, and John walked over to the refrigerator, took a bottle of beer out of the refrigerator and put it in the sink in some water and said, you will now be called green tea. All right, you know, let's talk about me a little bit. Do you know that I used to be a narcissist, but now look at me? And I went to the bookstore the other day. I was wanted to buy a book for my grandkids. I was looking for one of those Where's Waldo books, and I looked, and I couldn't find it. Well played, Waldo. Well played. All right, Street Talking Other Stuff. Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti. Hey, you got a great couple of guests today. I got two beautiful women on. We are going to discuss the issue of changing Lee School, the name of Lee School over in East Wenatchee. So it's going to be a good one, so stick around. Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, Street Talking Other Stuff. We will be right back.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
Your home as comfortable as you like? This Lennox dealer can help.
Make your home comfortable with a Lennox system from Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Antique Mall at Cashmere is Trade Dollar Coins' new location. Whether you're in search for coins, currency, gold, or silver, you'll find what you're looking for. From coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, find coins rarely seen from around the world. Whether you're buying or selling or need supplies, Trade Dollar Coins is the place to be. Located in Antique Mall at Cashmere. Open 7 days a week.
No matter what your age or ailment, when you wake up each day with a sense of purpose, life has meaning and joy.
Just wait a while, it'll get in the hole somewhere.
Helping you do this is our purpose. Highgate Senior Living, each day to the fullest.
The best thing about my life right now is
me.
Okay, Street Talking Other Stuff, Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti. Now, look, when I first moved out here in 1973, I noticed there were a lot of people from the southern part of the United States living here, particularly Izard County, Arkansas, and I thought that was interesting. And then I realized that a lot of folks had moved out to California during the Dust Bowl days and then followed the fruit, moved up. And that's kind of pertinent because what we're going to talk about today, because these two lovely women I have with me today, Miss Sue Ellen Harris. And like I said, when I offered to shake hands, please shake. I talked to her about this off camera, okay? Now, you're not going to let me down, right?
I was gesturing. Your dramatic
no.
gesture.
And this is Miss Jana Davis. Thank you very much. Nice to have you. Okay, and these ladies are going to discuss today the issue that we've been talking about here in the community about changing the name of Robert E. Lee School over in East Wenatchee, okay? And they're here to discuss a certain side of that. But before we get into that, Sue Ellen, we've known each other a long time, okay? But I think you should tell people a little bit about yourselves because you're an interesting person, somebody who people should know if they don't. So
Well, that's a very kind introduction.
Oh.
I am a retired English and history teacher, and I've taught in both the Eastmont and Wenatchee school districts. In fact, I started my career teaching at Sterling. It was then Sterling Junior High School, and is now Sterling Middle School, teaching both English and American history.
Okay, and how long have you been retired?
I've been retired about 7 years.
Okay, good.
I still substitute teach from time to time.
Oh, good.
But I'd like to add that I grew up here
Yeah.
and in the Valley, and my very earliest ancestors on my father's side moved to Douglas County from the South, and then moved to Chelan County subsequently. And my mother's people came from the Midwest, and before that from Massachusetts.
Oh, interesting, cool.
So-
yeah, I'm a East Coast boy myself, so.
Yes,
You
that
know.
New Jersey
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can take the boy out of New Jersey, but you can't take the New Jersey out of the boy. That's what I like to say. Okay, how about Jana? How about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Jana Davis, and I go to Eastmont School District,
Okay.
Sterling Middle School, and I am in 5th grade. And I am a ski racer for Mission Ridge Ski Team.
Cool.
And right now, my mom is yesterday she was in Chile. Now today she's in El Salvador running a race.
Oh, what, a foot, is that what she does? She,
Yeah.
A foot race type of thing?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
running a race, yeah.
Okay, so you're a student in the Eastmont School District?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so again, what I wanted to have these ladies on here today, because there's a little bit of controversy here locally about whether the name of Robert E. Lee School should be changed, and you folks feel that it should be changed. Okay, so why don't we talk about that a little bit? What are, your views on the topic generally, Sue Ellen, and then Jana will ask you about it too. So,
Well, I'd moved just after we lost our home in the Sleepy Hollow fires 2 years ago. We moved to East Wenatchee and subsequently moved into the Lee School District. And so I became more aware of
Right.
Lee School. And isn't it interesting we all call it Lee School?
yeah, see, that's the thing. A lot of people didn't even know.
That's
For a
right.
long time, it was named after Robert
But
E.
it's
Lee.
called Robert E. Lee School because it was named for the Confederate general, Robert E. Lee, who left his commission with the Union Army to fight for the Confederate States because of his loyalty to his state of Virginia. I
Right.
don't think anyone disputes that.
Right, no, that's pretty clear. And, actually, Lincoln had asked him to head up the army of the, the army of the Potomac.
Union.
Yeah, and he said no, he needed to be loyal to Virginia because people had a lot more sense of loyalty to their particular state back then than they did to the federal government.
Which is what made the Civil War such an important war. The Revolutionary War solidified that we were a nation. But the Civil War showed that we were indivisible, showed that our sovereignty was as a nation, not as a group, a confederacy, a group of states.
Right.
So in winning that war, we confirmed that. But we also confirmed that we were a nation of equals, just as in our founding documents, that all are created equal.
Right.
And Lee chose to fight for a side that wanted to maintain slavery. So Robert E. Lee is a very different school now than it was in 1955
Right.
when the name was chosen. And by the way, at that time, there were less than 500 or 600 people living in East Wenatchee.
Oh, really? Is that
Yes,
all? No,
very
I didn't know
small.
that. I didn't know it was that small
It's
back
a
then.
very small,
Oh.
but more people lived in the suburbs.
Sure.
Right.
Right.
But the name was chosen at an interesting time because it was then that Brown versus the Board of Education had just been a Supreme Court ruling that began the process of integration. And you mentioned Izard County, Arkansas.
Yeah.
There are many people living in the Wenatchee area whose roots go back to
Sure.
Arkansas. They weren't always given a smooth ride when they came here.
No, definitely not.
They were-
Anybody who read Grapes of Wrath.
Yes, they were
By
not
Steinbeck
always
knows
well
that.
treated.
Yeah.
But there's some possibility that that name was chosen as a reflection of Southern heritage
Right.
being important. But it also was at a time when integration was just a real important issue for the country. In fact, I don't know if you know, but today the Little Rock Nine is meeting in an anniversary and getting
okay.
together.
Really?
Those 9 students who integrated Central High School.
Are they
Little
all
Rock.
they all still with us? They all still alive?
I don't know that.
Okay, all right.
But they, that was in 1957.
Mm-hmm.
So this points out the timeliness. And we have to ask ourselves why Robert E. Lee, it's the only school west of Dallas, Texas, named for a Confederate general.
Yeah, it's an
There were 2 in California, Long Beach and San Diego. They both changed their names
did they? I
in
didn't know that.
2016.
Okay.
They both changed their names.
Yeah, and that's interesting. If you look up this subject and an internet meme, you know, you Google it, that kind of thing, you can see a map of the United States, and you see where, you know, back in the southeastern part of the country, a lot of schools are named for Confederate generals, and way up by ourselves up here in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Washington, is Robert E. Lee Elementary. So.
And so
it's
you
kinda
really
odd.
have to go back and look at the roots in the valley. And it's interesting because I heard a couple of men talking to the Eastmont School Board, and they were defending keeping the name as important to preserving our Southern heritage here in East
Right.
Wenatchee, which I found
I'm from northern New Jersey, okay? I'm not.
which, as a 5th generation Washingtonian,
I told you could joke if you want to, okay?
I think it's more important to honor our Pacific Northwest heritage. And so this seems to Jana and I and some others an opportune time when we're focusing on changing values and the importance of representing all members of a community in those we honor.
Right.
That we change the name to better reflect our own community. We're not going to erase history. Robert E. Lee is going to be in our history books for the good he did, the ill he did. But we need now to look for a better name.
Okay, so you're not thinking about the name should be changed because of any, you know, negative feelings about Robert E. Lee? Or am I misinterpreting?
Well, no. I just kind of almost think he's secondary to this.
Okay, all right.
The name represents a time of oppression for people of color.
Sure.
So in our country today, we have turned away from that sort of thing. And I think we need to turn away here.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay.
This is not an effort to villainize Robert E. Lee. This is an effort to do better.
Yeah, because that's a lot of people who want to keep the name feel that that's what's being attacked, is that, you know, Robert E. Lee may have had his issues, but, you know, people want the name to be changed because they're, you know, they're attacking him.
They do. And
I'm not hearing that from you at all.
No,
so.
and they, in fact, I think I'm echoing Robert E. Lee's sentiments. He expressed, for example, he did not want to be buried in his uniform.
Right.
He insisted that he did not want memorials to him. He specifically said we needed to let the wounds heal.
Right.
That if the nation was to go forward, we need not focus on this time of disunion. And I think that we should honor his wishes.
Oh, yeah,
and of
sure.
course, Charlottesville has called this into a sharper focus because we saw the Robert E. Lee statue as the centerpiece of a white supremacy march. And I do not want to see anything like that identified with our community.
Okay. Okay, Jane, I want to give you a few minutes before we take a break, okay? And then we're going to come back to you more afterwards. Telling me how you feel about this topic.
I think that it should be like a school name that represents all the kids and all of the people, not like just representing one person and one side. And I think it's like good for people to speak out and think of what they think. And my mom and me think it's really important for people to like say what they think, and I think that it should have a better name that represents everyone.
Okay, any other reasons personally why you feel the name would be changed? Anything, you know, having to do with your heritage and that type of thing? If you don't mind me going there, so.
It's fine. My mom is white and my dad is black.
Right.
And I don't really think that it should be a name that it's not fair to those people.
Okay.
that were going through that stuff.
Okay, so as a person of African American heritage, you know, having the school named after a Confederate general who defended, you know, the cause of slavery is not, okay, all right, makes good sense. Okay, well, we're going to talk more with these ladies in a minute, but we got to take a break, okay? Street Talk and Other Stuff, Mike Mad Dog Magnati. We are talking with Miss Sue Ellen Harris and Jana Davis. We're talking about their feelings about how they don't think that the name of Robert E. Lee School should remain and that it should be changed. But hey, stick around. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
It's the end of summer. Time for Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore's end of summer free-for-all. Get to Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore now. Pick out any vehicle in stock and drive away with $0 down. Then keep driving payment-free until December. That's right, 3 full months with no payments. Who else is going to make an offer this good? Nobody. That's who. And everybody knows we service what we sell at the Leonard Evans Used Car Superstore. Corner on Maple Street and North Wenatchee Avenue in Wenatchee and LeonardEvansCars.com.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall.
Shh, it's a secret. I'm not supposed to tell. Well, I can tell you. Right here in our valley, Victoria's Secret has found a new home at Wenatchee Valley Mall. And Bath & Body Works is moving and bringing in the White Barn. Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, The Children's Place. There are so many great places to shop at Wenatchee Valley Mall.
Keep up to date all the time at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. Find it all in one convenient location.
All right, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnati. I'm here with Miss Sue Ellen Harris and Miss Jana Davis, and we're talking about how they feel that the name of Robert E. Lee School over in East Wenatchee should be changed. And Jana, I was going to ask you, let's say that the school board did decide to change the name. What type of process would you like to see them follow for choosing a new name?
I think the kids should name the name because they're the people that have been going to the school and stuff. And like there was the kids at a school, I think it was in, I forget where, somewhere in Washington, they named the insect was the dragonfly.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important for the kids to name the name.
Okay, so if we did think about changing it, we should talk about the students who actually are in the district. Do you have a specific idea about what you would want the name to be?
Someone that maybe was like in the valley,
okay,
or was very important.
Okay,
Yeah.
Anybody in mind? See, because my daughter agrees with you, okay? My daughter is very adamant that there's nothing in this community named that isn't named for a white male. Okay, but okay, well, you can think about that for a minute or two. Think about somebody you might.
Maybe I can jump on that.
Please.
There was a letter in the safety valve that said, if we really want to preserve history, if we really want to remember the Civil War, then remember the 186,000 black soldiers who served in that war. Name the school after William Harvey Kearny, the first African American to receive the Medal of Honor. He truly was a heroic Southerner.
Okay, what regiment?
It didn't say. It didn't say here. Okay. But I'm just saying there are so many choices available. And Jana and I yesterday were looking at the state symbols, and over 4 of them were chosen by the school children of the state. And not just all the school children, but they went to a specific elementary and asked that elementary to choose.
Okay.
So the first one was in 1928 when the school children chose the meadowlark as our state bird.
Oh, okay.
It isn't our state bird anymore.
Really?
No, it's
Okay.
now the goldfinch.
Oh.
So that name got changed.
You learn something
And
every day.
that's something, too, that people say, you know, we shouldn't be changing names, Mike.
Yeah.
But you know that when people get married, they change their own names sometimes more than once. But the George Seller Bridge didn't start out as the George Seller Bridge.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
correct.
the Columbia River Bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
The Otabashan Bridge was the old station bridge. And, you know, I bet a lot of people don't even know who Albert Olds was.
I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. Or
yeah.
why we have Old Station. There at Clovis Elementary is a wonderful example
Yeah.
of a name choice. Newberry in East Wenatchee, or in Wenatchee, excuse me. And the school children chose the name of Newberry.
Okay. And I am familiar with that name. Okay.
Do you have a student who went there, maybe?
Well, I did, yeah. My grandson Alan went there, okay. But I understand about the Newberry name and how he was a literary giant.
Yes,
so to
and,
speak, yeah.
and there's a prize for children's literature named after
That's
Newberry.
right.
And that school has a wonderful library in honor, as the whole school is, of him. You know, lots of people have suggested names. And I don't have a favorite, or I don't have a horse in this race. This should be the students.
Yeah.
And certainly people can suggest them. Some of the names I've heard is one that I thought was kind of humorous, you like a joke every now and then, is the school is on Baker Street. Name it Baker Street. It's just elementary.
Okay.
Now,
That's
see,
pretty
he
good.
knows who Sherlock Holmes
Yeah,
was.
I
and
do,
He lived
I
on
do.
Baker
Yeah,
Street.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Other
So-
people have said, well, don't change it. Leave it Lee, but make it Harper Lee.
Harper Lee would be good.
Harper Lee. Jana knows about To Kill a Mockingbird.
Okay.
She knows that
excellent book. Yeah, great book. So.
Others have said, obviously, Clyde Pangborn.
Okay.
Wonderful choice. And one of my children said, well, Clyde Ballard. He lives 2 blocks from Lee School, and he was Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Okay.
I'm a Democrat. Clyde's a Republican. But this is a nonpartisan issue. And this is about honoring people or places that we can hold up as examples to our kids. And if we hold up Robert E. Lee, we can say, oh, these are all the good things he did, but then we have to say, and, you know, he was a slave.
Yeah, you have to be honest about it.
And so, you know, I just don't think that's the best choice.
Now, if you don't, let me, as we're talking about suggested names here, a very good friend of mine, mutual friend, Cynthia Brown,
Yes.
we talked about this weekend. She suggested, and I want you folks to look this up, because I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to, a woman by the name of Bella Reeves, okay?
And it's a name that I'm not familiar with.
A very prominent woman here in our specific valley and in Washington State. I believe she was Secretary of State of Washington for a while, if the information that Cynthia gave me was correct and if I heard her right. But I'm going to look it up because it would be cool if we named something specific after a female rather than just having a male name on everything. So.
Absolutely. And that's what happened in Long Beach and in San Diego when they changed their names. They named them for Latino members of their community.
Oh, cool.
And that's something to think about with Lee School because 52% of the students at Lee School are children of color. 20 of the children are, like Jana, of mixed race. There's wide diversity at Lee School.
Okay, now
it's only 48% white.
Can I ask you both a question? Because I was recently told, I have heard the term people of color a number of times. I have heard people of color use that term referring to themselves. But recently somebody on Facebook said that that's an offensive term. Yeah, you don't care? All right, okay. Okay, I just, you know
the person,
I'm trying to educate myself here. Okay?
I understand that, and me
anybody.
too, Mike, because in our lifetimes, not that we're old particularly, but we are, but in our lifetimes, we have heard names come and go.
Oh, yeah.
We? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there again, names change.
Yeah,
they change to fit the values of the time.
Right.
And so we have heard Negro, we have heard Black, we have heard African American.
Right.
Now, people of color is a more inclusive term. Do we say Hispanic or Latino? The people to ask
are those people.
Are those people.
I had a big discussion with Ruth Esparza about that a few weeks ago because a Mexican friend of mine, a cop I used to work with, Omar Ramirez, he hated the term Latino. Well, Ruth kept using it about herself, so I asked her, and she explained the difference to me, and had I been a little more intelligent, I might remember what they were. Actually, I do. But hey, we got just a couple more minutes, but I want to ask just one quick question. Do either of you have any emotional reaction to this, that it's more of a visceral thing that you want the name to change? I mean, you've presented some good logical reasons, but I mean, like when you see that name, Robert E. Lee, does it make either of you angry, or do you feel that, hey, look, not necessarily angry, but is there, you hear what I'm asking?
I have a sense of oppression.
Okay.
To me, it's why is it there? And it's a family show, but to me, it's a gesture of something at our diversity.
Okay.
To me, it represents a cry from the past for segregation.
Right.
And on a school, yes, I guess my visceral reaction is outrage that this would be on a place for little children.
Yeah.
You know, it is not about Robert E. Lee. It's more about why was Robert E. Lee chosen in 1955.
Sure. And that makes a good point, because my wife's been doing a little research, and she says that it may have been in opposition to what was, to the, the issues of segregation and integration that were going, the civil rights movement that was going on sometimes. Some people were opposed to that.
Change is so hard for everyone. In fact, I looked at some of the comments on the petition against the name change. And over, that one of the reasons repeated is change is stupid. Well, change is inevitable.
Right.
It's inevitable. Everything changes. Names in particular.
Okay, Jen, any last words before we...
Like, I'm saying, like, not many, like, kids that even go to Lee even know what Lee is.
Right.
So it should be a name that everyone knows what it is and it means to them.
More familiar, that has some personal meaning to them. Okay, well, good. Okay, well, ladies, thank you very much. Okay, Street Talk and other stuff. We've been talking with Sue Ellen Harris and Jana Davis today. We've been discussing how they feel the name for Robert E. Lee School shouldn't change, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do your probably worthless opinion, which is an interesting one today. So, hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnati. We'll be right back.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Okay, Street Talk and other stuff. I read this letter. It's a killer, okay? But your probably worthless opinion, where people write in for advice or give me their opinion of things. Dear Mad Dog, okay. I don't even know how to say this. It's so embarrassing, but I guess I'll just plow ahead. My wife recently sent me to the store to buy, well, what I guess would be called feminine hygiene products. Before I left, she told me what she wanted. She told me to write it down, but I said I'd remember. But when I got to the store, the variety of things just drove me nuts. The different sizes, the different quantities, deodorized, non-deodorized, scented, unscented. I couldn't figure all this out. And they're right. I mean, the display of these things in the supermarket is huge. Okay, so I ended up not buying anything, and she yelled at me when I got home. How can I get her to understand that for a man, these feminine products can be very confusing? Signed, I'll never get it. Well, never get it. Let me tell you this. To get your wife to understand what you went through, send her to the auto parts store to buy motor oil, okay? 5W30, 10W30, 30 weight, synthetic. Non-synthetic. Have you ever tried to buy no motor oil at the store?
No,
it's ridiculous. There's so many different sizes. Just try that. She will get it. As if you and I understand those things. But hey, Street Talk and other stuff. Mike Mad Dog Magnati, thanks for being here, ladies. Thanks again. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.